Welcome to the second part of our Magic Mirrors project, in which we want to use live videos to create a House of Mirrors impression with the graphic effects. First, we need to find a way to display our live video feed from the webcam somewhere on an object to create the mirror impression. We can use blocks from the sensing category for that, and it's those three: Video Transparency 2, Video Capture 2, and the Video Motion on Myself block. And I'll explain them one by one now. We start with the first one, the Set Video Capture 2 block, and this has again two inputs. The first one, you can decide what you want to switch on and off. And in this case, we want to start with the video capture. And the second one is this toggle thing. When you hover over it, you see this gray circle appear. And if you click on the gray circle, you can toggle this Boolean switch. So you can switch between on and off. If it's green and you click on the block, you set the video capture on the stage on. Hi. As you can see, now the webcam feed from our webcam is just displayed on the stage in Snap. If I switch it off again, I can't see it. Now let me switch it on again so I can explain the next block. The second block regulates the video transparency on the stage. As you can see, this is kind of grayed out again because by default the video transparency is set to 50. So my video is 50% transparent. That's why it looks this like faded out, washed out. I can set the video transparency to 0, then the video is fully opaque, or I could set it to 100, then the video transparency is 100%, so the video is still on the stage, but I can't see it anymore because it's now fully transparent. Let me make it opaque again so I can explain the next block. This block is a reporter block, so it reports a value. In this case, with the motion option, it reports a number that indicates how much motion is happening in the video behind the sprite. So if I move my head like a lot, you see that the numbers go up. And if I move out of the thing and stop moving, you see that the values are very low. The one that we're actually looking for is a different option in the first input slot, and it's the video snap on myself. Snap in this case means a snapshot, and when I click on this, I'm getting a version of my arrowhead shaped costume, but it looks slightly weird. Let me click on it again. Let me click on it again. Let me click on it again. So you can see is based on how I move, you get the part of the webcam that's currently behind the costume. So here you now see it's part of my hair and it's part of my forehead and the tip is part of the wall behind me. So you can display the part of the webcam that's behind the object on the object in the shape of that costume. The arrowhead isn't a very great costume to do that, but we can just create a different one. So let me go to the Costumes tab and let's actually draw a mirror costume. In this case, I don't want to use the webcam, but I want to use the paint editor. So I click on this and I can paint a mirror costume. I think I'm just going with an oval shape, but feel free to draw whatever shape you want. I want an ovally shaped mirror. And if I click OK, my object switches from the turtle sprite, like from the arrowhead I had before, to this oval that I just created. And if I go back to scripts now and click on the video snap, you see that it now reports the part of the costume that's behind, the part of the webcam that's behind that costume. So here now I get the ovally shaped crop of the webcam. And now we want to use this to create kind of a live video feed on that costume by forever switching to that video snap as a costume. In the looks category, you can find the switch to costume block that lets you switch to a costume in your costumes library, but you can also just drag that video snap image into here. And if I click on this now, I'm getting the video snap I just had as the costume. You see that the webcam behind it is still moving, but this is the video snap that I switched on while I clicked on the block. And now we can do this forever to get the impression of a live video feed or a mirror on the object. So I wrap a forever loop around it. And you can see sometimes when I'm moving very fast, it's a bit shaky because it's constantly switching to the costume, but I'm moving a bit faster than the webcam updates a bit faster than the costume. So sometimes it's a bit off, but you can't actually see it because we're always switching to the costume while the webcam is still on, fully opaque in the background. But we can now just make the webcam transparent. And now I'm only getting the part that is behind the mirror, and the webcam in the background is transparent. So now we successfully managed the first part of this project, the magic mirror. It's the mirror though. Now we need to add the magic. And we do that again by using the graphic effects. Let me clear this up a bit and put just all of them together. And maybe let's just add the green flag again so we can trigger this whole script by clicking on the green flag and display the webcam feed on the object. And now, as I said, we can use the graphic effects again to work on the magic. For example, this case we can use the same graphic effects again, but we want to use the change block this time. So for example, we can use the color effect, and the difference between this block and the one we used last time is that this one uses the current input, the current graphic effect, and just shifts it by whatever number I put in here. So every time I click on this, I'm getting a different number or a different graphic effect. Right now, I'm probably at 50. Let me set it to 0 again. Wait, let me set it to 0 again. And then let's try this again. So this is graphic effect 10, this is graphic effect 20, this is graphic effect 30, this is graphic effect 40. So every time I click on this, I'm shifting it by 10 until when I get to 100, I have the original color back. And we can do this interactively again with a key. So for example, let's add the when key press block, and if I click C, press the C key for color, I want to do this. So now I can switch the colors and it works with my live video feed. Maybe let's add a clear graphic effects if we want to reset our mirror. So when the space key is pressed, I want to get rid of all the graphic effects that I have. So I'm just clearing them again. Press space, resets it, pressing C changes the color. Now we can add a second graphic effect. So for example, when the W key is pressed, I want to add W key is pressed. I want to add another graphic effect, and in this case I want to change the whirl effect by 10. Change the whirl effect. And as you can see, I can stack these graphic effects. So I still have the color effect of 90, but I can now also add a whirl effect here. And for some reason, it always looks even more funny when you also look weird. So you can try this. And it now works with your live video feed. Now it's your turn to experiment with more graphic effects and build your own house of mirrors customized in your computer.